All right, let's see. Here we go. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon if you're joining us from somewhere where it's afternoon already. Welcome to another Play Well Live. I'm Mike, coming to you from Seattle again. Up on there on my Lego map. Yes, with the giant flag. Exactly. All right. So, welcome. I was trying to think about what I wanted to do this morning, and so I got inspired by something Ben was talking about a couple of weeks ago. So that's sort of where I wanted to start. But yeah, he was talking about some gears. He made some gears out of bricks, right? And he was talking about lots of different kinds of transmissions. Hi, Caleb. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. And transmissions, I think, are just super cool. There's so many different kinds of transmissions, and so let's just review those really quick. Ben talked a bit about these on his video, but I want to just review them really quick to show you, kind of lead into what we're doing today. Okay, so transmission is anything that's getting motion from like a power source, whether that's your hand or a motor or some other power source. It's getting that motion from that to the thing we want to move. So the very simplest one is direct drive, which is where the thing you want to move, let's say this little wheel, is directly connected to the thing that's powering it. Right? Very simple. Okay. Whether your power source is your hand, it's directly connected to there, or a motor, like I said, whatever it is. Okay. But that can only go that one speed, whatever the motor goes, right? So now we've got other types of transmission that transmit that motion from the thing we're trying to move to, or from the motor or the power source to the thing we're trying to move, right? So this is another one that Ben recently talked about with his conveyor belts. Ben has talked about a lot of this. I know. I'm going to try to take it to the next level here. Okay, so this is our belt and pulley transmission, right? So I've got my belt, which in this case is a rubber band, wrapped around these pulleys. So now this is the thing I want to move. And if I put my power source over here, right, it transmits that motion via the rubber band. Okay, so that's our second type of transmission. Direct drive, belt and pulley. Now, the one that Ben was talking about last time was gears, right? So they've got those little teeth which mesh together, right? Okay, so I've got my teeth there meshing together, right? So the thing I want to move is over here. This one, there it goes, moves it that way. Okay, so is that it? Are there other kinds of transmissions? There are other kinds of transmissions. And here's where I want to go with this from now, which is going to be the one we're going to do. You're going to see it's kind of a combination of these two in a way. And you'll see that in just a second. So here's where my inspiration from this also came. A couple weeks ago when I was working on a project. I was trying to build like a treehouse with a bridge using only bricks, but I wanted like that rope bridge kind of style. So I was trying to figure out how to use just bricks to sort of make that joint. And this is what Ben used when he was making these gears, putting the bricks in a really interesting formation. So I was experimenting with making a little like hinge rope bridge type thing here. But I was like, how do I get it attached to just a tower of bricks? Okay. So I had my like tree that I was building up there. And I wanted to get this. So I built like a little key almost. All right. I put a little bricks on top of there. Okay. And I made this little brick structure that's going to fit on top of there. All right. Kind of lock in there, right, like a key. And now I've got bricks pointing out this way, right, with the studs on the side. And I can continue my tree up past that. And then using the hinging technique that we've shown some. Okay, nice, Ben, you remember this. Okay, now this isn't, I'm not actually going to be building the bridge today. But this was just sort of, your gears combined with this work that I had done in this bridge is the inspiration for what I want to talk about with our transmissions in just a second. So we'll get there, I promise. It's all connected. It all makes sense, right? Yeah, sure. So I started making this brick rope bridge, okay? And by using that little kind of key, I don't know, fit that on there, right? Now I've got a tower that's going up, but I've also got a bridge coming out the side, and I could continue that on with these hinges, right? So that's cool. Okay. But then I was taking this little kind of key idea and taking these gears, and I wanted to go, Ben, you think you know where I'm going? All right, you probably do. I wanted to go with a chain drive, okay? Which basically, if I have two gears, but they're not meshing, it's going to be sort of like putting a belt over it, like with our belt and pulley, but I would put a chain over this that would lock into those teeth and turn these gears together, right? Okay, now I don't have that on here yet. Hi, Loma, welcome. Thanks for joining us. All right, I don't have that on here yet, but right, if gears aren't meshing, it doesn't do anything, right? So we're gonna look at modifying the gears that Ben was making a couple weeks ago and trying to add our own chain onto it, okay? So real quick, let's look at our gears, okay? So I made a little modification from last time after some experimenting here, but you'll probably recognize these from last time from Ben, okay? But you'll notice I have a little extra thing sticking out past there, which is a little bit skinnier. I have some plates in the middle. So my middle layer is plates instead of bricks. So Ben's were all built out of bricks. I wanted to do this to make it a little easier to fit my key over that, right? So basically, imagine a string of these keys to go around my gear, like a chain fitting around it, right? Where have you seen a chain on gears? Bicycles, right? Bicycles use this. They have one gear, they have another gear, and they have the chain that goes between them, right? So that's what we're going for. Think about that bicycle chain, okay? All right, so I wanted to fit this little chain, this little key onto there, okay? And I did some experimenting. I tried to get this to work with just bricks because that was my initial goal. I couldn't quite get it to do it or be strong enough. You know, there might be a way to do it, and if you want to take that on after you see what I came up with, go for it. All right. I want to see what we can do. But so I made my gear. Let's just review really quickly so you can see how this is connected. If I take off that top layer, you can see all of these sides of our gear, of our hexagon gear, are connected by one stud, right? All those corners are connected by just one stud so that it can sort of connect at those interesting angles, right? And that's the same thing I was doing on my chain here. One stud there, right? And one stud there. Okay. So let's take a look at what we did here. So just like Ben had, I built a couple of these gears. But now the thing that I want to move is too far away from this other one, right? So they're not meshing. When I spin one, it doesn't spin the other one. So we need a chain, which is like a belt around our belt and pulley, to go around these gears, okay? So let's see what I come up with. Once I said, I tried the bricks. I tried getting the bricks to work. I couldn't do it. But maybe someday we'll be successful with that, okay? So my chain, I wanted to use these little technical beams, these smooth Holy beams, okay? So these are what I'm using. And in between all of them, I've got these pins, okay? You'll notice that they're longer than maybe a normal pin is about that long, but these ones are a little bit longer. They give me the chance to attach 3 things. So they work really well at these junctions where I'm attaching 1 in the middle and 2 around the sides, right? So I'm using those longer pins there, okay? And I did this whole chain of them, okay? Woo. All right, got a nice chain there of those. And I'm going to connect the 2 ends of my chain together. And let's see if I can get this last one on here. Okay, so now I've got a really nice Lego necklace. And that's the end of our Play Well Live. No, I'm just kidding, okay. All right, so I've got my chain now, right? And it's got all of these little gaps that are going to fit around the teeth of my gears. Okay, my fingers are a little wider than the teeth. So this is why I went a little skinnier with my gears, using just the plates on the end there, okay? So let's see here. The really cool thing about chains, you know, all of these different transmissions have advantages and disadvantages, okay? And we're going to talk about that here at the end after I try to put this together. We'll see if this works. Let me back you up here and tilt you down a little bit so you can see. All right, so I've got my base plate with my different gears, right? And I've got my chain that I built here, and we're going to see. Let's see if you can see on the end here. If I just put it around this one first, I'm going to get my chain wrapped into all of those teeth of my gear. Do you see how the chain is now attached onto those teeth, right? So now I need to get it around this other one, which I'm going to have to break my chain and reform it around it. Okay. So a lot of this was just kind of trial and error, which if you aren't familiar with that term, it is super handy for engineers and for trying out a lot of these different things. Trial and error. You try something, you see if it works, and you learn from that and adjust it for the next time, right? So you try something, it might not work, but you see, oh, it needs to be a little bit longer, so I add one, or it needs to be a little bit shorter, so I take one away, right? So that was the process I did here in figuring out how long my chain needed to be to fit around here. If it was too loose, okay, I had to take some out. If it was too long, or if it was too tight, right, if it didn't fit, I had to add some more. So you can see that my chain fits around so that it's in the teeth of the gear down here and around the teeth of the gear up here, okay? So now what I have is two gears that weren't close enough to be connected, but now they're connected with this chain, and I can turn it, right? So you can see it's a little finicky so far. I'm still working out the kinks of this, okay? But by turning one of them down here, I'm able to turn the other one up top, right? Okay, so let's see here. I talked about advantages and disadvantages of a lot of the different transmissions, right? So that's kind of the part I wanna focus on here for this last couple minutes. Different transmissions are going to be good for different types of projects, depending on what you need it to do, right? If you just want to go one speed, you want something strong, solid, direct drive, right there. It's connected. There's no belt that can break. There's no teeth that can stop meshing, right? It's right there. It does what you need it to do, okay? Belt and pulley, really nice because it doesn't matter exactly how far apart these are. Right? I can put my belt around there. I can stretch it really easily. It can work at a range of distances. It's actually a fairly forgiving transmission, pretty easy to set up, okay? But the rubber band can slip sometimes, maybe not as strong. The rubber band can break, right? The belt can break. So we go to gears then, right? Okay, gears, really nice and strong, right? Those teeth are meshing. These gears are solid. Nothing's going to break there. Okay, but you have to get them to mesh, and they have to be right next to each other, right? So advantages, disadvantages. Then we come to the chain drive. We get the advantage of the gear with the strength and the teeth interacting, right? There's no possibility of a belt slipping because it's locked in by those teeth, okay? But the gears don't have to be touching. So this is like advantages of multiple ones, right? Now it also has disadvantages. You know, the chain can break, things can get jammed. Of course, there's always advantages and disadvantages. But if you're looking at using some type of transmission, think about what you need out of it. What is the goal of it? And that can help you determine what kind of transmission you need. Okay, so I think mine might be a little tight still. It jams up just a little bit. Ooh, some of the teeth, let's see. All right, so you know, advantages and disadvantages. All right, so I still need to tweak this one a little bit. I could adjust where I have my gears maybe a little bit, or try adding a section of this. But that's the fun of engineering is that trial and error process, right? You make your best educated guess. You do the calculations if that's what it takes. You theorize. You figure out what's going to work, but then you just try stuff, right? And that's what we want you to do at home. If you have an idea, just try something. If it doesn't work the first time, that's okay. You're going to learn from that, and you're going to learn ways to modify it. Say you're really stuck on something, share it with us. Let us know. Use the hashtag #PlayWellAtHome to ask a question about how to make something work. We're happy to help you out with that. That's awesome. I also, I know I haven't rapped in a little bit. I will tell you, I have been working on a transmissions rap for a while. It's not quite ready yet, but my goal is to get that ready here in the near future. So keep an eye about that. You saw a little bit about what might be talked about in my transmissions wrap here today with some of the advantages, disadvantages, different types of transmissions, all of that. So that'll all be in there. I'll keep working on that. But that's all I had for today. I wanted to just be inspired by some of Ben's projects, some of the different things I've been doing, and try to make this work with a chain drive. Lego does have little chains that it makes that you can actually put around the Lego gears as well. But I wanted to do it myself. All right, so that's it for this edition of Play Well Live. And if I can get my gear back on there. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's it for today. And Ben will be back tomorrow, and then I will see you on Monday for another Play Well Live Challenge edition. So be sure to check that out, and have a great day. Thanks, everybody.